I was a student here and graduated in 1964, and then came back in 1994 as the Dean of Nursing. So I was on campus as Dean of Nursing for the last 19 and a half years until I retired in July. Probably the biggest changes that were the most obvious were the number of buildings. I think between the time I graduated in 64 and came back in 94, there were, I think, 20 new buildings on campus. It's like, whoa, where'd they come from? And now, what is there, another 30? Yeah. It was college as I was graduating and then became university, so my diploma says SDSU, so it has university on my baccalaureate diploma. But in terms of between 64 and 94, it was really the changes in the buildings, number of buildings that I knew about, because being out of state, I really didn't come back. The coursework, I think, when I came back in 94, we had a core curriculum that we talked a lot about, and we talked about those kinds of things. But during the time I was a student here, frankly, I was so involved in my own studies, I didn't look much broader than the college. And so, you know, between the 4 years I was here on taking courses, President Kennedy died. We were off campus 2 of those years because we didn't have clinicals in South Dakota, very many of them. We had to go to St. Paul for clinicals for nursing, and we couldn't use Sioux Falls because they had diploma programs at Sioux Valley and McKinnon, so they had their own diploma students there, and so we went to Watertown, Rapid City, and St. Paul primarily for our clinicals. Let's go back to 1977 when Carol Peterson was the Dean of Nursing, and all the off-campus clinical sites they no longer had to use because the diploma programs closed. So in 1977, instead of having 24 in a class, that was the number I had in my graduating class, they could then begin to expand it to about 48, and I know some years they had 56, and then they would take 48 again. What I don't know is the year they started 2 admissions a year. But when I came in 1994, we were admitting 96 on campus, 48 in the spring, 48 in the fall, and 40 in Rapid City. 136 total slots. This year, we have enough room for 344 new students. So that's, you know, one of the things generally for the university is expanded number of students, but you look at the number of nursing students that we've also been able to expand in 4 sites, in Sioux Falls, Rapid City, Aberdeen, and Brookings. And they all have in-state South Dakota clinical experiences now. Some of the changes on campus was we had a number of deans that retired, because some had been here 17, 18, 19 years. The Dean of Education retired, Dean of Engineering retired. We had some changes in the deanship over in pharmacy, and 2 or 3 deans of ag, that not all in the mid-90s, but you know, there's been that change. So a number of changes administratively, and then I started here under President Wagner. President Wagner, because Hilton Briggs was here when I was a student, and then he retired, and then was here the 10 years Peggy Miller was here, and then have been here the 7 years that President Shequin has been here. So those were mid-90s. There was administrative changes, but that's not uncommon. I mean, that you're always going to have turnover of faculty and administrators, and that's good for the university to get new ideas in and